Do you think people can be born gay?
No, I don't. And there's no conclusive evidence to that.
You know, a lot of gay people say they were born that way. They said that, you know, you're saying...
A lot of murderers say they were born murderers. A lot of pedophiles say they were born pedophiles. So if we're going to say there's a gay gene, we're going to have to open up the conversation and say that there's a pedophile gene, which means if I molest children, I shouldn't go to jail because after all, it was in my DNA.
But no, hold on. Being a pedophile is illegal. Being a homosexual is not illegal.
True, but guess what? When the DSM-5 came out last year, that's the Bible of diagnoses, they say they accidentally put pedophilia in as a sexual orientation. Having sex with kids accidentally was not listed in the DSM as an illness. They had to quickly change that, and I think they did that on purpose because there's an organization called the North American Association for Man and Boy Love. They're trying to normalize and legalize pedophilia.
Oh no, we gotta blow them up.
It's on the internet. North American Association.
That sounds crazy.
Oh my goodness. In fact, it's already been predicted that when the next DSM comes out, pedophilia will be normal behavior.
He's the kind of guy that would say, hey baby, let's get away, let's go someplace, huh, where I don't care.
Hey, what's up, you guys? This is WD3, and this is your Hill Report News Break. Well, hope you guys are having a great day. You know, busy day, lots of news. I've been doing a lot of thinking, and whenever I see everybody and their mama piling on the one guy, you know, even no matter how wrong the guy is, it makes you go and dig a little deeper. So I said, why is everybody piling on to Dr. Umar Johnson? And why is he not in jail? Well, I got down to the bottom of it. I did a little more research on what Umar has been saying and what groups that he's been pissing off. And I know the real reason why he's being dragged right now. Yes, he's been running a 100-year-old scam where he's got some buildings, but I'll be honest, there are buildings there. There are lights. I see some paint. I saw a fairly clean inside. When you want to see something negative, it's easy to be like, oh yeah, he's got no roof on the damn hallway. He's that water fountain looked like it wasn't doing that. It was like, boom. No. The real reason why Dr. Umar is being dragged is because he came up against the community. He came up against the LGBT community. Now, when you are a black man and you're talking about black men and black women coming together, forming family, black men and black women coming together does something, right? What does that do? The result of that is probably another black person. And then if they do it again, they're going to have another black person. If they do it again, they're going to have another black person. And in a society where one person, every person that you create gets a vote, that vote creates the person who is in power that tells or gets to run and control everything and tell us how we react to other countries. It depends on that black woman and that black man coming together, having that child being a voter, that voter giving that community a lot of power. Let's be honest. If the black man comes together with the black man, they don't create another voter. If a black woman comes together with the black woman, they don't create another voter. It is very well known that the majority race, the white race, which for the forever in this country, they've been at least 60 to 80% population. Now they're dipping because they're not having children. The European race, period, is not having children. You need 2.1 children to grow your population, right? 2 people need to have at least 0.1 to grow. They're having 1.2. That means that a lot of white women and men are not having children. That means they're not having voters. We'll be right back.
One of the reasons Barack Obama was made president is so he could normalize the LGBTQ agenda in the black community. Think about it. If George Bush tried to push homosexuality in the black community, we would have rejected him.
Of course.
If Donald Trump tried to push homosexuality in the black community, we would have rejected him.
Of course.
You could only normalize that through a blackface.
Through a black man.
Obama was made president to make it normal. When Barack Obama became president, homosexuality was not a mainstream issue, nor was it accepted as a mainstream alternative to the traditional family.
I gotta look at
By
the
the
timeline
time
on
he
that,
left office in 08, they were completely running everything.
Was
and
that
if
the
you
year?
even disagreed with, I'm gonna give you an example.
It is.
I do a lot of
right.
graduation speeches, right? At the June.
Okay.
Elementary school, middle school, high school. I normally do about 20 graduation speeches a season.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
When Barack Obama was president, I might have did 5. It dropped significantly. Schools who I normally did their commencement, they was calling me up, Dr. Umar, we can't have you speak this year. Why? The LGBTQ say you don't agree with them, you can't speak. I said, but this is a graduation speech. This ain't politics, this is motivation. Get ready for the rest of your life.
Right.
What does LGBT got to do with my 10-minute speech motivating these 12th graders to make sure you do well in college?
Right.
Well, we have LGBT teachers and they saying you're insensitive and you're homophobic. So I saw how not agreeing with the lifestyle could limit your opportunities in life. You had people getting fired from jobs, not for pushing hate, because I don't agree with hate.
Right.
I don't agree with the lifestyle.
Right.
But I don't want harm for any human, no matter what their situation is.
That's the way to do
But
it.
the way that they did it was the LGBTQ said, to disagree with me is to hate me. They created a narrative that if you disagree, you support violence against me.
Right.
You don't want us to work. You want us to be shot, killed, maimed.
Yeah.
We never said that.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
We just said we don't agree with the lifestyle.
Right, right.
But they turned it into a whole campaign against anybody who disagreed with it. And that's another reason why a lot of people didn't vote for Kamala Harris, black men, because they got tired of the effeminization. And then they took it to Africa. Obama started it. He went to Africa. He went to Liberia. He went to Rwanda, a couple other places. He said, if you don't legalize gay marriage, we cutting off your aid. Got people like Bill Gates, the United Nations, the Rockefeller Foundation that come into Africa and fund family planning programs that deliberately seek to reduce the population of African people. That's one of the biggest reasons for LGBTQ. That's one of the biggest reasons for LGBTQ. And I'm not against no homosexual or no lesbian. I love all African people, but I reserve the right to disagree with any lifestyle that threatens the survival of the traditional African family. LGBTQ is the new birth control pill. Why do I say that? 2 men cannot reproduce. 2 women cannot reproduce. And now they're even transgenderizing our children. Do you know what that means? They're manipulating and indoctrinating African children to undergo sexual surgery so they'll never be able to reproduce again. When Dwayne Wade, whose son is now legally had his birth certificate changed, he's legally a girl.
Yeah.
Hormone therapy. When he gets 30 years old and looks in the mirror and says, you know what? I don't like living like this no more. I want to go back to being what God made me, a man. I want to get a wife and I want to have children. We only got one problem, don't we? Your reproductive is gone. We got another problem. Your testosteronic levels are gone. Your ability to produce healthy seed is gone. There is no going back. We are not looking at this LGBTQ thing the way we should be looking at it. It is birth control and racial extermination. Why you think Kamala Harris is traveling throughout Africa, trying to convince African countries to legalize gay marriage? Why does America care how Africa chooses to run its society? What do you care about marriage in Africa? Because if we can invade African culture to the point where we can manipulate African children into same-sex relationships or outright transgenderism, which is the extermination of your bloodline, we can start predicting the reduction of the African population. They'll never be able to get rid of all African people, but they can damn sure make a dent in our numbers. But more than that, they can disrupt the natural, traditional, healthy, cultural way that we live our lives, build our families, and run our societies. LGBTQ is one of the greatest weapons of white supremacy against the survival of Africa.
Hey, welcome back. Yeah, powerful stuff. You know, like I said, I always get the side eye when everybody's piling on somebody. And you may say, Will, or why do you defend Dr. Umar right now? I'm not defending Dr. Umar Johnson. I'm not. I was probably one of the first people to like see what was going on and be so upset that I had to bring it to you. And it was right? What he did with the money seems to be like, but I run advertisement. I own a newspaper. I guarantee you could take any business owner and you can scrub the books, especially if they're not in a corporation or something like that. And they're probably mismanaging a whole lot of funds, especially like sole proprietors and things like that. A lot of things probably get used for personal use, and sometimes the business has to catch up for what's going on personally. Um, Seems to be the case. It seems to be maybe there's some drug use, some shady things going on there. Um, maybe there's some scamming. Um, but when it comes down to the very foundation of democracy, when it comes down to the very foundation of one person, one vote, when it comes down to who is in power, there's no ambiguity there. If we're having 1.2 children and everybody else is having, the Hispanics are having 5 per 2 people. The black people are having 5 per 2 people. We're having 1.2. Let's deport the Hispanics, right? And let's criminalize and put felonies on the blacks and have them have sex with their own um, gender so they can't reproduce. That way we can catch up or at least slow everybody else the F down, right? The real reason why Dr. Umar is being dragged. Not saying he's right, but that's not all of the story. It's all about population. You get you a felony, you can't vote, you can't own a firearm. You're probably the weakest person to resist. You bip a bop, you're going back to jail. If you're not here legally, you're getting deported. And Hispanics have incarceration numbers too. Come on, white people, have more children.